Y'all know the name.
What's crack-lacking, boys and girls? I am Matinio and welcome back to Project Cars. So, as promised, I'm going to be taking the limited edition cars around, you know, and also for this first one I'll be giving my initial impressions on the game. 5 limited edition cars. We're starting with the Ford GT40 Mark IV. As someone rudely pointed out in one of my other videos, IV stands for 4 and not 6 as I initially believed it to be. But to them, well, I'm not fucking Roman, so who cares? So, yep, this, let's just get the view correct. There we go. Right. So, this thing, 1967 it was built. Only 6 of them, I believe. Entered 2 races, the 12 Hours of Sebring and the 24-hour Le Mans. Won both of them. At Sebring, it was Mario Andretti and Bruce McLaren. Pretty much a who's who of Formula 1 there, or motor racing in general. And at Le Mans, it was... come on. At Le Mans, it was Dan Gurney and AJ Foyt. So yeah, also the only all-American car, and when I say all-American I mean everything, the bodywork, the engine, the tyres, the drivers, everything was American. Only all-American car to win Le Mans. So, pretty impressive. And, ooh, it's a bit squirrely, ooh, it's very unruly. Oh, can't get the power down. And it's really understeery, or maybe I'm just driving it too quickly. But yeah, initial impressions of the game. Well, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's a brilliant game. It's difficult because with other games where it's just kind of like a single formula, like say the Formula 1 games, which I love, again, still brilliant. But with those, no matter what car you're in, you pretty much know what you're getting. You know what you're looking at in terms of braking zones and how the cars are going to react to the track. It's pretty much all the same. But with this, because every car's got its own very distinctive handling characteristics and every track reacts to those characteristics differently, it is difficult, because if you go from say a Formula A car around here to this, you're going to struggle to adjust, or it's going to take some time to adjust it, just to make sure everything is as it should be. Now, as brilliant as the game is, there are a few problems, a few little niggles. The first one being time trials. Now, I do pretty well in the time trials, actually. I think my time around here in a Formula A car is ranked, I think it's still 6th in the world. So, yeah, I've got some talent, believe it or not. Despite what you may be seeing here. Come on, round the corner. There we go. But I would really like it if they would set the time of day, or allow you to set the time of day, because it's late evening, and especially when you're coming down that straight back there, it's so hard to see the braking zones because you've got the sun, you're glaring in your eyes and burning your retinas out your head, and it's really difficult. And especially at certain tracks, you know, like me and my friends have been doing the Alton Park Fosters track, trying to break that. I think I've got up to 5th or 6th, I think it was I was up to. But it's so difficult because you can't change the time of day, and at certain points, you know, the sun is glowing right on the racing line and right on the braking points, so you kind of you're blind basically. You have to do it all by instinct. So it's tough to learn. It's a challenge, but I would like you to change time of day. That's why I've done this in free practice. Oh Christ Almighty! Like I said, this thing. Oh God. They know how to make cars go fast back then, but they didn't really have a handle on how to make them fucking stop. So with this car, you've got to be very, very delicate with your inputs, because it is kind of squirrely and unruly. It's like a teenager. It just wants to tear your face off and storm off in a strop into a barrier or a gravel trap. But it's not a bad car, to be honest with you. It's not the worst of the legendary cars. I'll be coming to that one a bit later, which I say is the worst one. And not just the legendary cars, probably the worst car I've driven in the game. But this one, it isn't too bad. It takes a bit of getting used to, as you imagine, being a car that is close to 50 years old now. It's not going to be as refined as some of the, there's like, you know, like say the Sauber C9, or, you know, any of the LMP or LMP1 or 2, or I don't know if there's an LMP3, I don't know, I think there is, any of those cars, but it's not an altogether bad car, you know. Once you kind of get used to it, you can probably start licking in some pretty decent laps, but like I said, it's definitely an adjustment. And you've got to be braking so early, and when you do, it's just trying to, you can probably see it through the wheel on the screen actually, and it's just trying to just rip the wheel from your hands, and like I say, you've got to be so careful with your inputs, especially when you're coming out of corners. 4 minutes and 30 seconds, alright, not that impressive, but yeah, again, initial impression from the game is pretty good, you know. It is a bit of a ball ache trying to get everything set up to get it how you want it, especially with the wheel settings. Now, I don't know whether it's the wheel itself. Oh god, got so wide there. So wide, I was practically on another racetrack. I don't know if it's the wheel settings, but for some reason the game decided to forget all my settings on Monday, which means I had to spend close to 3 fucking hours downloading firmware updates and, you know, jiggling about. And that's another thing with the options. It would be nice if you can get to the wheel options while you're actually on track, so you can test them rather than having to, oh god, it didn't work, let's go back to the drawing board and change the wheel settings, and then having to go back into a race and do that again, and then come back and go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. That's why it took so long. If they had the options available in, you know, while you're on track, it would be a hell of a lot more helpful and simpler and quicker and easier to get to find the groove that you like to be in, especially with the wheel. Because with this one, with mine, it was, because there's so many, that's the thing, that's the big adjustment that's also been with this game. Not just so how many different types of car there are and how everyone that handles differently, it's also been an adjustment with the wheel, because I came off playing with what was a it was the Logitech Driving Force EX, which is a good wheel. I liked it, I enjoyed it, and the work, you know, it was very simple to set up. There weren't that many settings. But this, there are endless settings. There are rotation settings and force feedback settings and all those jiggery bits and bobbities. Ooh, bring it down nice and early. Let's see if we get a good turn in for this one. Ooh, maybe got a little bit early there. Bring it down a little bit more through here. Probably not the right line, but I'm not in full-on concentration mode. I'm in talking mode. But yeah, that'd be another nice thing that they could add. Apart from that, I don't think there's many other things that are wrong with the game, to be honest with you. Because it is really good, and it's refreshing to see. I didn't notice it. I don't know if it did happen. I'm fairly certain it didn't, but it's also refreshing to see because that as soon as you kind of pop the game into your PS4 or your Xbox One or your PC, you're not immediately prompted to update the bloody thing like you do in most games. You know, you've seen it, you get a game, you're like, yeah, let's play, I'm ready, I've been waiting for this for ages, and then you, oh god, a bloody update already. So, while we had to wait a little longer, I think, you know, with the delays and so on, I think that was all worth it really, because you don't have to update things, and they're also not releasing a game that they know has got bugs in it, that is, oh well, we'll just, we'll patch it on release day. You know, that's ooh, that's grass. Ooh, God. Ooh, when it comes, come here, yo. Stop it. Nope. Right. So, yeah, again, that's refreshing because with the whole gaming these days, get out this corner and then we'll continue. Gaming these days, they're lazy. Okay, they can afford to be a bit lazy. Like probably the worst game I played, The Evil Within. And it was really bad because I couldn't get past chapter 3, it just kept crashing, and this was after updating it and so on. And this wasn't on release day. I didn't get it on release day, this wasn't on the day it was released. This was about 6 months after it was released, and it still wasn't fixed. And they're all talking about bloody DLCs. Don't release DLCs, release patches to fix the original fucking game, you morons. So yeah, but like I said, refreshing with this, but Game Maker's a bit lazy these days, because back in the day when I started gaming, when a developer released a game, they had to get it right. There was none of this downloading patch on day one crap. If you got it wrong, that was it, you're screwed. But now they're a little bit lazy, they can get away with it ever so slightly. But yeah, as I said, refreshing to see that there wasn't a day one patch. I'm sure there will be patches and improvements that come along as time wears on. It's also nice to see that they're releasing free DLC. God, this lap's even slower than the last one. Christ. By 3 seconds. Oh god, I'll never be a racing driver. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say really about that. Ford GT40 Mark IV, pretty nice car. Takes a little bit of getting used to. Braking isn't brilliant, but you know, apart from that, and the game in general, very good, very impressed, enjoying it, loving it. It may even keep me from absolutely going hell for leather and trying to complete The Witcher, because I've like I've probably seen on Twitter, I've been leading like this is leading towards a gravel trap. No, get off me, get off me. God damn it. See, that's what I said, you're going to be very delicate with your inputs into this thing, because it is very unruly when it wants to be. It can be very nice to drive and very smooth at times, but the second you start pushing a little bit too far, it will try and bite your face off. Ooh, get off there. But yeah, so like I said, Project Cars, I would give it a 9 Martinos out of 10. Whatever the hell that means. And the car itself, well, it's true to form, I suppose. It's very true to form, I imagine. I've never driven a Ford GT40 Mark IV, but I imagine this is what it would be like. But yeah, that's pretty much it from me. So thank you everybody so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead and hit that like button like I'm about to hit this gravel trap. Ooh, no I didn't. Ooh, well, hit the like button like I just kind of hit that apex. Subscribe for more daily content. As I said, there's 4 more cars coming in videos, and they'll all be today. And yeah, so I suppose I'll catch you on the next video. Peace! What kind of fuckery is this? Can I walk up walls? I can. No, I can't. Ah, what? What the fuck?